up, everyone? Tonight wasn't my night. I feel great. I did great. Islam was just better to me than me tonight, and that's okay. I want everybody who loves me and supports me and wants to see me do better. I want you to know that I'm going to be back. I'm not disheartened by this. I'm bulletproof in my mind. I'll be back. I'm 28 years of age. I just fought arguably the greatest fighter we've ever seen in this sport. And I pushed him to the fucking wire. And I'm so proud of myself, and I'm so proud of my team and everything that we've done. I'm so proud of what I've done in this world and who I've become. Nobody's stopping me. Nobody stopped me. Tonight was not my night. Islam, your team, congratulations. You guys did amazing. I have nothing but love and respect for everything you guys have done in this sport. I've said that to you. I'll be back. There's plenty of matchups in this sport, plenty of fun matchups that I'm excited for. We'll be back, and we'll be better than ever. I love you all.
UFC 330 just wrapped up seconds ago in the Philadelphia, as the cool kids say, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. First time since 2019 that the UFC held an event there. That was a fight night event headlined by Justin Gaethje versus Edson Barboza in March of 2019. This time around, they come back with the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, Islam Makhachev, who makes history. 17 wins in a row for Islam Makhachev. He retains his welterweight title. As GC just said, if you were watching the post show, and the watch party, tremendous job by both GC and Rick. A, for the watch party, but B, for like actually doing it in those outfits for the entire time. I mean, the dedication to the bit. Primo, fifth fighter to defend a title in 2 different weight classes. Perhaps most importantly, in my opinion, 17th win in a row, breaking Anderson Silva's record, which was 16 wins in a row. He did not break any title defense records or any.
He's the best. Passes guard. Ian Garry's jiu-jitsu is actually really good. One of the things that Islam is doing very well right now is he's always staying outside that lead leg each time he strikes. Or if he goes in front, he's going super wide. That's why Ian Garry's having a hard time reaching him. And Islam, when he gets close, he starts creeping outside that lead leg. It's because his head's in the outside. That's why each time Ian Garry's able to do that defense. Keep wrestling. Keep wrestling. Keep wrestling. Keep wrestling. Keep wrestling. He's got to beat this time. He got it. Good job. Yep. Gets it back. Good job. Could be 3-1, but it all depends on the judges saw that last round. Well, here's the thing. I don't think he has to do it with urgency because that's where he did most of his damage against Islam Makhachev. So in reality, it's actually good.
I'm there.
Look, he did what he had to do and was really tested in ways that we haven't seen him tested before. I mean, it was a difficult fight. Although he won by, a good margin, a healthy margin, there was moments where you're used to Islam having a certain amount of control and dominance that he just didn't seem to have.
Yep.
Over the bigger guys. And This is the question. As he's moved up to 170, there's some guys like Morales that are absolutely gigantic. And what happens if he fights those guys? The gap is bigger than it is with Ian Garry. Ian, again, out of the 10 victories that he's had inside the octagon, he's only had 3 stoppages.
Yep.
Morales killed.
Kamaru Usman had previously warned that simply keeping the fight standing would not automatically be enough for Ian Garry to defeat Islam Makhachev. Usman believed Islam's ability to control distance, move away from pressure, and dictate the pace of exchanges would make the matchup extremely difficult for Garry. Even while moving, Islam could maintain the threat of a level change, forcing his opponent to constantly react. Usman described it as a rhythm that Makhachev had mastered, keeping fighters in front of him while making them fight according to his preferred tempo. Unless Garry could somehow disrupt that rhythm and force Islam into unfamiliar situations, Usman struggled to see a clear path to victory, especially because Makhachev's striking had also become an underrated part of his overall game.
Fuck, dude, he landed a head kick in round 2, and other than that, he did nothing! For 20 minutes! He did fucking nothing! That's the truth! Zero! He caught him with a head kick in round 2. And other than that, he did fucking nothing. The whole fight.
Rangy, strong guy who has great takedown defense. I mean, if you look at his takedown defense tonight against Islam, it was impressive. I felt like, I think that Ian is a talented guy. If he had even an ounce of killer instinct in that 5th round, you know, he had been beating him to the body. Islam's whole, I think, right side was beat up. His face was beat up. You don't come out and hug and shake hands in the fight. That shit drives me fucking crazy. When there's so much at stake, and there's also, you know, a lot of mental, you know, gamesmanship, whatever you want to call it in this game. You come out in that 5th round with a flying knee or something crazy and you try to finish the fight. I think that this is one of those fights that Ian will go back and watch and say, fuck.
Max Holloway also expected the matchup to be much more competitive than some predictions suggested. Holloway believed Garry's significant reach advantage could cause problems for Islam during the opening 2 rounds, particularly while the champion tried to figure out the correct distance. However, Holloway expected that advantage to gradually disappear as the fight progressed. The longer the contest continued, the more he expected the momentum to shift toward Makhachev, with Islam eventually taking control through pressure, top position, and ground strikes. If Islam could close the distance, force Garry toward the cage, and successfully bring the fight to the ground, Holloway believed the champion's style would become increasingly difficult to deal with.
UFC 330 just wrapped up seconds ago in the Illadelph, as the cool kids say, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. First time since 2019 that the UFC held an event there. That was a fight night event headlined by Justin Gaethje versus Edson Barboza in March of 2019. This time around, they come back with the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, Islam Makhachev, who makes history. 17 wins in a row for Islam Makhachev. He retains his welterweight title. As GC just said, if you were watching the post show, and the watch party, tremendous job by both GC and Rick. A, for the watch party, but B, for like actually doing it in those outfits for the entire time. I mean, the dedication to the bit. Primo, 5th fighter to defend a title in 2 different weight classes. Perhaps most importantly, in my opinion, 17th win in a row, breaking Anderson Silva's record, which was 16 wins in a row. He did not break.
Felt like tonight was set up for the upset. I felt like the upset could happen tonight with so much on the line, all the records that Islam has, and he's going to break Anderson Silva's record. There's weight classes for a reason. Ian Garry is a big, rangy, strong guy who has great takedown defense. I mean, if you look at his takedown defense tonight against Islam, it was impressive. I think that Ian is a talented guy. If he had even an ounce of killer instinct in that 5th round, you know, he had been beating him to the body. Islam's whole, I think, right side was beat up. His face was beat up. You don't come out and hug and shake hands in the fight. That shit drives me fucking crazy. When there's so much at stake, and there's also, you know, a lot of mental, you know, gamesmanship, whatever you want to call it in this game. You come out in that 5th round with a flying knee or something crazy and you try to finish the fight. I think that this is one of those fights that Ian will go back and watch and say, fuck, wish I could do that over again. You know, if he came out and tried to destroy and win that last round, you know, with everything that he had, I think it's a totally different fight. Islam went out, you know, it's a complete opposite now, against a bigger, strong, rangy guy who has good takedown defense, controlled him, shut him down. I don't know if he was in his head and Ian felt like he had to come out and shake hands in the 5th round or whatever, but, you know, Islam did exactly what he needed to do to win that fight. When I went in after the fight and Ian Garry came over and shook my hand, Ian Garry's handshake is like a fucking vice grip, you know, and he is a big, powerful, rangy guy. And, you know, for Islam to go in and do what he did to him tonight, you know, physical and mental. If you to come out of that fucking corner like a raging fucking bull, you know, we might be having a different conversation right now.
Do you feel like Ian's too nice to his opponents? At the press conference, he wanted to build Islam up. He's been nice about him all week.
I think that Ian's a classy guy is what I think. And, you know, he always shows class. He did, you know, before the fight, he goes over and shakes, you know, all the corners' hands and all that stuff. It's great. But when that fucking bell rings, you got to switch. You got to switch all that shit off and go. And you definitely got to do it in the 5th round after the, you know, he fought a great fight against Islam, who, you know, everybody in this room and everybody else is saying, well, we might start talking about GOAT. You don't go shake the fucking GOAT's hand going into the 5th round. You come out to fucking annihilate him. I mean, that just has to be your mindset, in my humble opinion.
When all of those observations are put together, this matchup may have revealed more about Islam Makhachev than another quick submission or completely one-sided performance ever could. Ian Machado Garry entered the fight with several of the qualities that many people believed could finally create serious problems for Islam. He was the bigger fighter, had greater length, possessed strong takedown defense, and was comfortable operating from long range. Unlike some of Islam's previous opponents, Garry was not completely overwhelmed as soon as Makhachev began applying his wrestling pressure.
What I'm saying is you cannot write off a guy that is 6'3", can get up to his feet, uses the jab, and then kicks the lead leg very, very well. You know, will Islam take him down? Yes. Now, could Islam control him in Dagestani? I mean, that to me, that's the biggest answer, because when it comes to the feet too, as much as people do not like him, as much as like you cannot hate on the competitive spirit that this dude have. He probably doesn't finish people like people want to, but he does get his hand raised. I mean, he did it to look a guy like MVP. A guy like MVP is very hard to fight. I'm just saying that different stylistically fight than a guy like Islam Makhachev. But remember, man, like he's a bigger welterweight too, man. And I just feel like people are really counting out Ian Garry out, and that wouldn't so damn much. This dude believes that. I mean, he's got a space on his wall saying he's going to do it, but styles make fight, Kumar.
There were moments when Garry forced Islam to work harder than usual, and there were exchanges where Makhachev did not appear to have the effortless control that fans had become accustomed to seeing. But that is also what makes the victory so significant. Islam was dealing with a larger welterweight, a difficult stylistic matchup, and enormous expectations, yet he still managed to find a way to control the contest and leave with his hand raised.
Very, very good at being able to slide back, slide to the side, just keep you at that range, because you can't rush him. If you rush him, I change levels, I put you down. And so it keeps guys there, and you just kind of, Islam does this thing, and I remember there was at one point where I was just kind of there. When I do this dance where you just kind of hypnotize everybody. They just stay right in front of you. They just do what you want. They just move into your rhythm, move into your dance. And Islam does such a phenomenal job right now at that. It's almost like he's not getting out of third gear. He just kind of stays in third gear. And if Ian Garry cannot get him out of third gear, I'm sorry. I just don't see how he gets it done. Just staying on your feet alone is not enough, because Islam's not bad on his feet. He's not. Islam has really good striking. So that I just don't think that alone, I don't think is enough to.
With that victory, Islam extended his winning streak to 17 consecutive fights, moving beyond Anderson Silva's 16-fight UFC winning streak. That achievement changes the conversation surrounding Makhachev. The discussion is no longer limited to whether he is the best lightweight fighter of his generation. Now the bigger question is where Islam belongs when the greatest fighters in UFC history are being discussed.
People are giving Ian no shot, which is blowing my mind. I think this is going to be a way more competitive fight than people think. I think early on, it's 5 rounds. Early on, I think so in the first 2 rounds, I think so Islam is going to have problems with Ian's reach, just trying to figure him out. At the end of the day, the longer the fight goes on, Islam only gets stronger. I think so if Islam can get his hands on him, Islam can drag him down, and we're just going to see a vintage Makhachev victory, you know. Does he submit him? I don't know. Maybe he just pressure him, get on top, controls, you know, some ground and pound here and there. I think the fight is going to be super competitive in the first 2 rounds, and then once Islam figure out that reach, and cuts Ian off and gets him against the cage and drag him to the ground. I think so. Makhachev is gonna be.
At the same time, Ian Garry deserves recognition for the challenge he presented. Before the fight, fighters such as Henry Cejudo, Max Holloway, Israel Adesanya, and others had warned against completely overlooking Garry's chances. After seeing the matchup unfold, those warnings make sense. Garry's size created real problems, his takedown defense allowed him to survive dangerous positions, and his range gave Islam difficult moments. Most importantly, Garry managed to survive situations where Makhachev had completely